Hi, welcome to another episode of Josh and Kelly.
We are in historic Newcastle in Delaware, looking at some historical sites. This whole town is not only huge in terms of its history, but it still very much looks like it. Almost we could be stepping back in time. I mean, you can see us behind us, there's cobblestone streets, all these old colonial brick buildings. The whole town is colonial brick, and it all looks like it did back then. Like they haven't really done much to change it, besides the fact that there's cars sitting in front of the houses. It looks like we're stepping back in time. It's pretty cool. Where are we?
Historic Newcastle. This is the Emmanuel Episcopal Church on the green in Old Newcastle. And there's a lot of famous people buried here. This is George Reed. He signed both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
So a signer of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and honestly, it's not a very big memorial, but for such an important person. But nonetheless, there it is. So this statue is William Penn, and yes, the same one for whom Pennsylvania is named after. So Pennsylvania means Penn's Woods, and this is one of the founding fathers, William Penn, who basically owned Pennsylvania, which became a state. But that is him. Here in Old Newcastle is where he first arrived ashore on his way up to Pennsylvania.
He looks very tall.
Yeah, I think in real life he was probably much shorter. My guess he was 5'6", 5'7". But that's just my guess. I never met him, so I don't know. She's such a dancer. She likes to dance everywhere. So this is the original courthouse. It was also the seat of Delaware's government for quite a while, at the very beginning of its history. Here, and there's a wing of it over here. And of course, there's a wing of it over here too. So it's pretty big. But this is where the seat of government was in Delaware when it first started. So Kelly and I learned a lot while we were here in Old Newcastle. Parts of history, both of Delaware and of a wider region, including the whole 13 colonies that we had no idea about prior to this. But it was interesting to sit here and see the actual original courtroom for the state of Delaware, as well as the room where the original legislative assembly met for many, many years at the very beginning. But we enjoyed our time walking around town and just seeing all this fantastic architecture. So if you're into history, by all means, come to Old Newcastle and learn a lot as we did. But we spent the day walking around and learning, and we actually, through all that, got ourselves quite an appetite. So after walking around, we decided this is where we're having lunch. So behind me here is the main, what they call the green, the not the village green, it's actually the market green. This is where they probably had their kind of open air market kind of things happening. And just there in the background of the green is the back of the courthouse. And then if I turn this way, there's some other buildings, and then back here is that church that we showed you earlier that had the main grave site of one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. And anyway, so we are enjoying ourselves here. It's a cool day, but I mean, I'm going to turn this camera on and you can have a look. Everything here is still colonial. I mean, it's like we separate, besides the cars, it's like you just stepped out of a time machine. Have a look at this. So there's the van, obviously. But just look at this, all these houses. I mean, like the whole town's like this, but every street we go down, but look at all these houses here on this green. All of them. Everything. Everywhere you turn is all colonial architecture, colonial buildings in that very, very typical red brick of the colonial period. It's amazing.
Well, that's what we've got for you this week. Hopefully you enjoyed that little piece of history there. We found a few interesting things there that we didn't know, even though Kelly and I were both born in Delaware and grew up here. Just still finding interesting things out is quite nice. But we're going to leave you with that, and hopefully we will see you again very soon. We have some pretty big things coming up. We're not going to quite tell you about them yet, but one thing I am going to tell you is not about what's coming up, but what's just happened. The van's been fixed. This is kind of our first little excursion with it fixed. We just got it fixed this week. Brand new transmission, a whole new transmission put in, and it's running nice and smooth, thankfully, at the moment. That was really nice. So I was kind of expecting it, to be rough again, but it's perfectly smooth. And so we're enjoying that, but that's going to allow us to go much further afield. So,
It's been a while.
Yeah, and we want to go much further afield. So that'll be coming up soon. We'll give you more details about that in the weeks to come. But until then, we'll see you out there.
See you out there.